Hare Krishna. Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gauri Chandraya Radhikaye Sadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namo. Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaye Priyatmane Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa iti namane. Anarpitam charim chirat karunyavatīn kalau samarpetam unnatajarasam svabhakti shriyam. Haripura sundardati kadamba sandipita sada hriday kandreshu smurtavai sachinandana. Jaitam suta pangur mama mandamatirgati mat sarvaspadam bhujo Shri Radha Madano Bhaktya vihina aparad lakshmi Shiktasya kamaditarangu madhye Kripamaitam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste sharanarvindam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Louder. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurudev ki Jai. So we have full house today. Some adjustments. Humble obeisances to Srila Gurudev and entire Guru Parampara, Diksha Gurudev and Shiksha Gurudevs, to all associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to Sri Radha Madhav. My obeisances to all senior devotees here and respected guests on this wonderful occasion, appearance day of our Srila Gurudev, who came in this world for a very special reason, and he was very special. Very special, very special for everyone. And his speciality, Hari Katha, his speciality, his sweet dealings with all devotees, treating everyone equally, without any distinction. So there are a number of glories of Srila Gurudev. I'm not going to take much time because if I start speaking then it's difficult. So I want some devotees to contribute in this Pushpanjali ceremony, glorifying Srila Gurudev. I'd like to request, first of all, Gopa Prabhu, please come and glorify Srila Gurudev. We need a chair, right? Yeah, it's better there. Prabhu, please sit there. It's for the speakers.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavams Cha. I use this mantra because Gurudev personally told me, you say this mantra and you've covered all your bases. If you want to get something done very quickly, use the abbreviated version.
Right.
Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhistang Stapitang Jaina Uttale. This is a description, of course, you all know, of Srila Rupa Goswami himself. He is our Sampradaya Acharya, he is our Abhideya Acharya, he is our Rasa Acharya. In other words, if you get the drift, he's pretty much the father of our entire movement. And Srila Gurudev was Rupa Nuga Virudhapa. He was the strongest supporter of this Rupa Anuga principle, the following of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Nuga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine. I know these are mantras for other acharyas, but I'm using them in reference to Srila Gurudev because it's so very appropriate. That he could not stand anything against the principles of Srila Rupa Goswami, the father of our movement. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke in broad terms, more specific in Sanatan Siksha and Rupa Siksha, and it took someone to take all the teachings of Mahaprabhu that he had given in his 48 years and to condense them into a format where you and I could grasp them and get a good understanding of them. Put them into lists, put them into categories, make a science out of these broad-based teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And who was responsible for that? Srila Rupa Goswami himself. So Srila Gurudev is an ardent follower in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami. That's the first point. Secondly, what is it that Srila Rupa Goswami taught? Rupa Goswami, so many things, what am I going to do? Condense that into a 5-minute talk? But Rupa Goswami taught that Krishna consciousness is a wonderful continuum. We say, we think there's this isolated point, that isolated point, this. It's all part of a single continuum. One example, of course, a very simple example, basic example, but really appropriate, is that Rupa Goswami told us, Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sango Tabhajana Kriya To Narta Vritisha Tata Nishta Ruchis Tataha Atasaktis Tato Bhavas Tata Prema Bhutanshiti. But did he stop there? No. So we have from beginning Shraddha all the way up to Prem itself. But then we have Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav. And within Mahabhav, what is Rupa Goswami telling us? He's telling us that within Mahabhav there's Rudha Bhav, there's Adi Rudha. And within this Mahabhav category, this top of the pyramid, there is Rudha Bhav. Rudha means it's very excited. It's very intense. Rudha Bhav means something very high. Maybe Krishna has some Rudha Bhav. But Radharani's gopis surely have it. And beyond that, Modan, Madan. Beyond that, Rudha Bhav means the ecstasy that comes many times in separation, Modan. And the ecstasy that comes more in union, which is privy to Sri Radha herself. Madan or Madanakya Mahabhav. Srila Rupa Goswami explained all these things in detail. I mean, we could spend a day. We could spend a month on any one of the categories that I just mentioned. But in the interest of time, and since we're all here to hear from Mahārāja, not from me, what we're seeing here is how Srila Rupa Gosvāmī made a science out of what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taught. And a science means that it's categorized, it's clarified, it's made simple for the simple. I'll speak for myself. The simple. So this, like I said, you could talk for hours, days on any one of these categories, but because Srila Rupa Gosvāmī begins his dissertation on bhakti after his chapter on samanya bhakti, means general bhakti principles, then he makes it very clear that there are three types of bhakti. There is sadhan bhakti, there is bhav bhakti, and there is prem bhakti. So I'll say something about each of those because each of them are a factor in the list that I just gave. Sadhan bhakti means very clearly that kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhavasa sadhanabhida nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakata vriddhi sadhyata. What is sadhan? Are we doing sadhan? I have to be very brief, but sadhan means here, basically, it is the attempts we make to achieve bhav bhakti. Sadhya bhav. It's the attempts we make considering that the sadhya is bhav. So if I'm chanting my rounds, or if I'm hearing harikatha, or if I'm doing some puja, and I'm not thinking this is in pursuit of bhav bhakti, then something is missing. This is what Srila Gurudev calls leakage. And then what is bhav? What is bhav bhakti? Bhav bhakti, of course, is a very unique and special stage of bhakti, just in line with prem. Shuddha sattva visheshatma preng suryang susanya bhak ruchibis chitta mashrinya sadasau bhav uchyate. Bhav uchyate. This is what we call bhav. What? Again, I'm being very brief. What? Ruchibis chitta mashrinya. That ruchis coagulate taste, feelings, heartfelt moods come and they build up and they grow. And when they reach critical mass, ruchibis chitta mashrinya. This is bhavasalsad, this is called bhav. And going a step further, what is prem? Samyan mashranita swanto mamatva tishayantika. Bhav saiva sandratma buddhaya prem nigadyati. Prem is simply the intensification of bhav. Bhav means it's full of ruchi, it's full of taste, it's full of thrills. You feel something. And prem means, as it intensifies more and more and more, it becomes more than just a ray. More than just a ray of the sun of prem. It becomes the entire sun globe and all its rays. It's just the intensification of its predecessor, bhav. As bhav or ruchi in mass gets stronger and stronger and stronger, it becomes prem. Prem is simply the intensification of bhav, and bhav is the coagulation, the combination, the accumulation of ruchis, of taste. So further on, I'll just cut to the chase. We have what's called a Mahabhav. And in this stage of Mahabhav, even the pinnacle there, Madanakya Mahabhav. This means something that is privy or reserved for Srimati Radhika herself. Or is it? There are 5 stages of Srimati's Sakis. There are Sakis. There are Nitya Sakis, Pran Sakis, Priya Sakis, and Parampreshta Sakis. Of those, the second and third, Nitya Saki, Pran Saki, these particular Sakis are known as Manjaris. The Pran Sakis are the leaders of the Nitya Sakis. And this stage, there's no way that you and I will ever become Parampreshta Saki. There's only 8 of them. Many of you know their names. But even for living entities like us, someday in good Sangha, and with good, strong sadhana and insight, sambandha gyan, clarity, and going deeply into the moods of bhakti, this mood that Srimati feels herself can be seen as if, at least as if through a periscope, binoculars. You're seeing it. You're feeling it. These 2 categories, called Manjaris, they are so deeply in love with Srimati that they vicariously can see what she's seeing and feel what she's feeling to a degree, just because of the depth of their love for her. This is available nowhere else, not even Lalita, not Vishaka, not Chitralekha, not Raga, nothing. But these Manjaris can feel like that. So as many of you know, well, Srila Gurudev didn't talk about this topic 24/7. He also gave a broad basis of bhakti. And that's what Mahārāja was speaking yesterday, I think, about the need for the strong foundation. Means strong sambandha gyan, strong basics, and strong sadhana, so that these things get implanted deeply within our hearts. All of this is what Rupa Gosvāmī gave, not just Manjari Bhav. That's like the top of the pyramid. Do you have a peak of a pyramid without a basis, a foundation, an underlayment of the pyramid? You have to start somewhere and then you build. So how to start? Look, every Upadeshamrita, all Srila Rupa Goswami's books have this basis and build on something very fundamental until it gets more and more refined up to the very apex of the pyramid. This is what Rupa Gosvāmī gives, all of this. Of course, we are especially fond, at least in terms of sadhya bhav. Why bhav? Because bhav is something you can get your head around. It's just a bunch, it's a compilation of ruchi. And we all know what it's like to have ruchi. Our acharyas give us very good examples. Like candy. Yeah, chocolate. It tastes good. We know what it's like when something tastes good. So just transfer that to Radha and Krishna and realize that Radha and Krishna are so much more tasty than your gumdrops. Infinitely more tasty than anything in this world. Srila Rupa Gosvāmī himself even uses the example of when a boy and a girl come together. What do they feel? They feel some taste. And he says, let me feel that taste. He's using a material example to show us what taste is. Let me have taste like that.
Yuvitanam yatha yuno, yuno cha yuvati yatha.
Mano biramatam tadvam, mano biramatam tvai. Same verse, beginning and end. So, he's using examples. All of our acharyas use examples that are something we can relate to. It's their kindness. But we have to turn it in the direction of Radha and Krishna and realize that the taste that can be had there is so much greater. In the case of Srimati Radhika herself, Yare chahe chadite, se suna ache chitte. What does she say? She says that my mind isn't my own. I don't even own it. Manamora Vamadina, Jalavina Yenamina. My mind is like a fish that just happens to have no water. It just flaps helplessly. Manamora Vamadina. It's Vama. It doesn't agree with me. It's a disagreeable mind. There's something wrong with it. It's in Vama Bhav. My mind, it doesn't go along with the owner of that mind. What's wrong with my mind? This is the way she thinks. And because that's the way she feels about Krishna, Krishna gets attracted to that. He can't stay away from that. He's drawn like glue to this mood of Srimati Radhika. So in that mood of being drawn like glue, we know, I think Mahārāja said recently, maybe last night, Radha Chinta Niveshana Yasya Kantir Vilopita. Vilopita means that it blocks out. Krishna's color is blocked out. He's lamenting because he can't find Srimati Radhika. She's in Man. She's keeping her distance. So Krishna's lamenting over this, and he doesn't know what to do. So in his deep lamentation and thinking about Srimati, he thinks about her in such a deep way that he begins to turn her color. Vilopita. His color is blocked out by hers. Shri Krishna Charanam Vande, let me worship that Krishna. Where he's turning Radharani's color out of the depth of his love for her. Let me worship that Krishna. Radha Lingita. Lingita means that she embraces him, yes, but she embraces him so fully that he takes on her color. So, and finally, I'll abdicate for someone else. Lastly, you can see these things in all the Leelas of Krishna. You can see these things that Mahaprabhu and our acharyas personify. You can see them and how they occur for devotees within the framework of Radha and Krishna's Leela. One time Krishna was in deep lamentation again for Srimati Radhika, as I was saying. This time his solution was to send Subal and ask Subal, please bring her to me, tell her that I'm in such anxiety without her that I will be leaving my body and she'll never see me again. So Subal hatched a plan and went to the house of Abhimanyu, the house of Jatila in Yavat Gram. And he sort of walked back and forth in front of the house trying to get someone's attention. Of course, whose attention did he get? Jatila. Jatila, her simple response was, get on her out of here. You're not wanted. You're friends with that scoundrel who we never want to see again. Go away. He said, no, I'm not here for any problems. I'm not a juvenile delinquent. I'm here because I lost one of my calves, and I think my calf is inside your cowshed. She said, no, but anyway, he talked her into it. She said, okay, go get your calf and go. So he went into the cowshed, but he knew that the other side of the cowshed, there was another open door, which was right under Srimati's balcony. So he went through the cowshed, looked up at Srimati's balcony, began to talk to the Sakis, and explain Krishna's situation until Srimati Radhika came herself and heard this lamentable story from Subal. So they followed through on Subal's plan, because Subal happens to look just like Srimati. And he happens to have a voice that's very similar to hers. So they exchanged clothes. Now Srimati Radhika has a twisted turban. Srimati Radhika has a dhoti. Srimati Radhika has a pitambar. But there's only one problem. She also has a chest. A female chest. So what to do? Subal had everything in mind. I came in here to get a calf. Here's a calf in this shed, in this Goshala. Here's a calf. Just carry it like this. To this day, they have in Braj, Vrindavan, you'll spend some time there and you'll know, they have arrangements where the deities of Radha and Krishna are dressed for this occasion. And Radharani will be carrying a calf and in male dress. But in any case, she left the Goshala, and on the way out, Jyotila said, "Okay, Subal, did you get your calf?" "Yes, Mataji, right here in my arms, can't you see?" In Subal's voice. So she follows the directions that Subal gave her to where Krishna is in the jungle. But when she arrives to see Krishna, Krishna thinks she's Subal. So Krishna says, "Oh, you failed. You didn't bring her to me." And she says in Subal's voice, "Sorry, I tried so hard to make this happen." This is like yesterday where Mahārāja was telling us about Prem Samput. This is just the reverse. Srila Sridhar Maharaj makes a strong point of this. So Srimati Radhika says, "Well, I couldn't find her in the dress of Subal. I couldn't find her. Do you want me to go to Chandravali and bring Chandravali here?" And Krishna says, "No. Why? What good is curd if you don't have milk, creamy, thick milk?" And so she, like in Prem Samput, Krishna, as a heavenly damsel, is questioning Radha to see how much she loves him. Here, Radha is questioning Krishna to see how much he loves her. And pastimes like this are strung together in what we know as Krishna Lila, Swarasik Krishna Lila. Just keeps going and going and going, and every pastime one connected to the other. And these are the kind of things, as you all know, that Srila Gurudev taught us in the name of Srila Rupa Gosvāmī. So my attempt here was through both Tattva and Leela to tell what is the favorite mood of Srila Gurudev. At least some little glimpse. Thank you.
Shama Priya Mata. It's a wonderful explanation. This is the mood of Srila Gurudev. Taking the Rupa Gosvāmī, Gurudev said, Rupa Gosvāmī and Vishnu Chakra Thakur, they are my heroes. You know, everyone has some heroes. Gurudev said, Vishnu Chakra Thakur and Rupa Gosvāmī is my heroes. And the base of my preaching is Rupa Gosvāmī. That's my preaching. The writings of Rupa Gosvāmī, the moods of Rupa Gosvāmī. And then same Shri Rupa Gosvāmī came as Vishnu Chakra Thakur. The incarnation of Rupa Gosvāmī is Vishnu Chakra Thakur to explain the moods and the writings of Rupa Gosvāmī. He has to come his own in other form. So, I don't want to start. Otherwise, then it will go. Please, Shamran. No, please. I want all devotees to speak today. Special day.
I've been thinking all week on what I could say to glorify my Guru Maharaj, but as Maharaj said yesterday, we don't possess the divinity to actually properly honor such a person. And especially when I think about who this person is, at least as far as my finite, covered over, conditioned mind can acknowledge, and I see it right in front of me with the Guru Parampara, that lineage, Rupa Goswami's lineage, that these are topmost manjaris, and they have taken a form here in this world, and they're on a massive rescue mission, and so if we think about that, they don't waste any time. They're not time wasters. They're powerful, powerful personalities, and they can radically change our destiny and our lives. And why us? Like I always think, why me? I had an interest in philosophy. I had an interest in God. I wanted to know who God was. I especially wanted to know, what am I doing here? Who am I? And then by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and his books, I was able to connect so much with through Prabhupada, discovering the science of self-realization and everything, and then praying so much that I had missed some amazing boat in missing Srila Prabhupada, and that I was too late to have such a connection with such a great Vaishnava. Although that's a mundane way to think, because I was having so much incredible connection with Srila Prabhupada through his writings, through dreams, and through the unlimited supply of his very merciful devotees and disciples who came and would just openly help me and preach to me. And then coming to a pinnacle of grief about that, I took some shelter of Gaur Govinda Maharaj and also Srila Sridhar Maharaj, but still, even Srila Sridhar Maharaj was just leaving, and Gaur Govinda Maharaj was traveling, and it seemed impossible to get the kind of real connection that I wanted. Even though I had an ISKCON guru, there were lots of red flags, and there was lots of uninspiration. And so finally, because of my good husband, I was really fortunate that Chandrap was reading a manuscript by Srila Gurudev. Going Beyond Vaikuntha. They were just in manuscript form, so he was telling me all this stuff, and I was like pretty mind blown by what he was saying. And then finally we had an opportunity to meet Srila Gurudev and get the darshan in Badger really early. I think the second year he came, right? And I just remember Srila Gurudev had such a powerful effect on my husband that all he did was like weep. All night long he wept after meeting Gurudev. And I felt somewhat far away still, but I could feel Srila Gurudev pulling me really hard and teasing me and looking at me. And as he would do, he'd look right at you and he'd say, "How are you?" to the next person. It's like really teasing and creating an intense amount of greed. When is he going to talk to me? And we're just so stupid. We don't even actually know how to communicate or deal with such a transcendental person. We have no idea. But he gives us clues and he helps us. So when I met Srila Gurudev, I was very uninspired where I was. And even though I was exhaustively serving, I was very uninspired. And he could see that. It was so bad at one point. I was a pujari on an altar with Radha Krishna and Nitai Gaur. And I just looked at the Radha Krishna deities and I'm like, "Get me out of here." And I cried. And it was shortly after that we got the darshan of Gurudev, and I was feeling like just an ocean of revival in my heart. And I felt an incredible amount of just love and affection. And I doubted it. I'm like, this person doesn't really know me. How is he so affectionate to me? And I thought, is this a manipulation or something? But I had one experience that kind of blew my mind. Srila Gurudev was He knew. He was omniscient. He knew what you were thinking. He knew your heart. And how many devotees have had incredible mystical experiences with Gurudev that prove that? One day I was walking around going, he doesn't really know me. He doesn't know what I do or anything about me. And it was so faithless and stupid, and I was ashamed. So then we got a darshan. Somehow the whole darshan dumped out, and it was just the Chandrabin, Gurudev, and I, and Mahārāja. And Gurudev's like, oh, do you know Shamapriya can this, and Shamapriya can that? And Mahārāja's like, yes, she can also do this thing. And it was just like this ping pong match of Gurudev talking about all these things that I do. And it was like, he knew me better than I knew me. And I was just sitting there like, number one, humiliated that I would even think this way about such a personality. And number two, totally reassured that not only did he know me, but he loved me. And the most shocking thing is that all my training in ISKCON and all my puffed up stupidity, humiliating, arrogance and pride in learning the Vaidhi system, and with no heart for Krishna, no heart for Guru even. No wonder I didn't have proper Guru. I didn't have a proper mentality to have Guru. And then knowing that Srila Gurudev can see your lifetimes that you came from, and lifetimes in front of you, more than you could ever know. And still seeing this filth and the muck, just so mercifully giving love and affection and encouragement. And many times Srila Gurudev said in New Brajin and other places, especially after a beautiful katha where everybody was just melted into a puddle, he would say, you can never repay me for this. And I was like, oh, what a sweet debt. How forever that sweet debt could be. And so, especially on today, and every year on this day, I think, where have I come from? How far have I come in my service to Guru, in my realization of my great good fortune to this person? Am I really following his instructions? Am I hearing enough of his katha? Am I serving his devotees? And it's always a shameful decline in what I wished I had accomplished. So I'd really like to try for next year to have at least made some little tiny portion of advancement in the direction of Gurudev, where I'm showing him, you did not waste your time. You have not wasted your time on me. And this material world is so scary and so rough. It's such a rugged and rough place. And in the middle of this hell, I once had a dream. I was in a tower, and there was a giant war going on outside. It was a hellish war. And the green glass going outward, panels of glass. And I was scared, and I looked, and there was Srila Gurudev on a reclined couch. He was just smiling at me. I'm like, Gurudev, it's such a scary world, and you're being so attacked by outside forces, and it feels so hopeless. And he goes, yes, this is Mahabharata. And I thought, what is Mahabharata? It's family going against family. The different sections of Krishna consciousness attacking each other. And I thought, but I'm safe with you here, Gurudev. I'm safe with you. So I just always want to remember the safety net that Srila Gurudev gave me, how he's helping souls, how he's not just an ordinary person, and how he's not gone. Actually, Gurudev is not gone. We should never think he is gone. He is present. He is present in all of our hearts, all of our experiences. And I don't like to speak of Gurudev as having gone in all the good memories. I want to think of the new memories I'm making. Gurudev sending his foot dust. Stanti Maharaj is coming. So many beautiful Vaishnavas are coming. They are his foot dust. They are here to remind us of our great good fortune and how to properly serve. What were Gurudev's moods? We were so dumb. We didn't know his moods. I mean, we need help. And so this is help. So anyway, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I'm only speaking on myself for the faults. But anyway, thank you so much, Maharaj, for being here.
Hari Krishna. So I can take one more speaker tonight, because I also have to speak something. So I want to pass the mic to God Sundar Prabhu. God. Yeah. We all want to hear from you. We have today's 9th, 10th, 11th. We have 2 more days, so everyone will get some chance. बोलो श्री गुरुदेव की जय, श्री राधा रानी की जय। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय श्री गुरुदेव, जय श्री कृष्ण। First of all, Brahma, never the Tanda Pranam Shri Shri Gurudev, and beg for his mercy on this day, and to our entire Guru Parampara. Before I met Gurudev, what I heard was that, he said that Prabhupada he only taught Vaidhi Bhakti, only Vaikuntha Bhakti. And then after I met Srila Gurudev, then I heard, people were saying, Gurudev is speaking about these high topics, but Prabhupada never talked about them. So I read Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and so many books, and saying, no, it is all here. If I think about Gurudev's contribution, it is as if he sort of took Prabhupada's books, like Nectar of Instruction, which was like, in 1997, Gurudev gave lectures based on these books, and showing, what is in there, especially like the 8th verse, Tannama Rupa Charitari Sukirtananu. And in this chapter, Srila Prabhupada's commentary, he's giving all the verses describing Raganuga Bhakti, starting with Seva Sadhaka Rupana Siddha Rupana Chatrahi, verses like Krishna Janam Samanam Chasya, Prestam Nija Samihitam. These are verses that delineating the process of Raganuga Bhajan. So it's like Gurudev opening the books of Srila Prabhupada and showing, I think we're missing something. We're missing the most important part of this sampradaya, the most confidential, the most essential, and the speciality of this sampradaya, being the followers of Rupa Gosvāmī. Opening up the Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4, describing, what were the reasons for Mahaprabhu's appearance. The Sri Radha Pranaya Mahima Kirtasa, this verse, describing the 3 confidential reasons of Mahaprabhu's descent. And so, Gurudev did this all in such a time where the Vaishnava community, this really line starting from Mahaprabhu predicting that my name will be spread in every town and village, and then to Bhaktivedānta Thakur and Srila Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Prabhupada, who are making this all possible, doing the groundwork for this. And then of course Srila Prabhupada coming to the West and bringing all this temples and books, but it was at the time when Gurudev came when he understood that, there's something more, there's something we're not, that we're forgetting or overlooking, and that we might be becoming too focused on some of the external things without understanding the more deeper aspects. So, there's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Ekale Krishna Arsapa Pritya Jari Jaicha Nacharis Tari Kore Nitra. That as Krishna wills, all his servants, like instruments, are dancing to his will. And so, really, this is just the unfoldment of Mahaprabhu's desires and our Guru Varga. Gurudev would always try to impress upon us that what I'm giving is, what I'm trying to emphasize and trying to give is just the same thing that our acharyas, our Rupa Gosvāmī, Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, have tried to stress and have tried to open our eyes to. So, and since Gurudev is sort of like the song Nityananda Prabhu has broke the dam of love and broken the ocean, broken the boundaries, the gates, sort of opened the doors. So in the same way Gurudev had opened the doors of Srila Rupa Gosvāmī and this Anarpita Chirim Chirat Karunaya Vatirna Kalau. This rare thing has not been given for so long, this Unnata Ujjvala Rasa. So I feel like Gurudev has broken the doors and now these floodgates are open and the whole world is following in his footsteps, and we're able to discuss and relish these pastimes like Prem Sambhut and so many wonderful pastimes. So, of course, there's so many unlimited glories, but just I want to stay short and just say this much, just a very hint of his contribution of Srila Gurudev. So with these words I finish. Pray unlimitedly that we can accept this. I think I always think that it's never too late to go deeper and to increase our Guru Nishta, to increase our Guru Seva, Guru Bhakti. And when we have these days, it's another push in the right direction, another reason to go forward and to remember and to remember these things are all present and eternal, and we're meant to that it's never too late to take those steps. So on this day, I'm offering my unlimited Dhanavad Pranams to Shri Gurudev and praying for his causeless mercy, and praying that we can make the receptacle to receive this mercy. Jai. Shri Gurudev ki Jai.
One short commercial break. Page number 50. Favorite song of Srila Gurudev. Remembering him on this day. We are, for his pleasure, we're going to sing Shri Rupa Manjari Kala. Once, well done. You can come in front. Bolo Shri Rupa Gosvāmī ki jai. Gopa Prabhu inspired me by his beautiful lecture. How Gurudev moved so imbibed in Shri Rupa Gosvāmī, so much absorbed in Rupa Gosvāmī, and base of his preaching just the literature of Shri Rupa Gosvāmī, Bhakti Sam Sindhu, Ujjwalini, Utkallika Vallari, Lalit Madhav, Vidad Madhav, all these beautiful scriptures. So, that's the aim and objective of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So I'm going to speak on this later. Let's hear this song. That's a break. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Sei Mora Sampada Shri Rupa Manjari Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Sei Mora Sampada Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Sei Mora Sampada Sei Mora Bhajana Pujana Prabhu He Patita Pavana Gurudeva, Patita Pavana Gurudeva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. episode. The glories of Srila Gurudev. I'm very thankful and inspired by hearing wonderful speakers, Gopa Prabhu, Shama Prabhu, Gaur Sundar Prabhu. And remembering how Srila Gurudev used to say, the aim and object of Gaudiya Vaishnavas is not only to worship the object of, to serve the object of worship, Vishya Vigraha, rather to serve Ashya Vigraha, not Krishna but Radharani. There is no direct relationship with Krishna. The relationship with Krishna is indirect. Gopi Bharatu Padakamalayо Das Das Anudas. Krishna is the beloved of my Radharani. That abhiman, that mood. As Shri Raghunath Das Gosvāmī expressed, Sakhe tumam namastu namastu nityam, dases tumam rasastu rasastu satyam. If Radharani, seeing my services, she is so pleased and want to make me her girlfriend, I would rather say no. I don't want to become your Sakhi, your friend. But then why? What do you want? Shri Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, Dasyas tumam, rasastu rasastu satyam. I'm happy only to become your maid servant. So this Dasi pad is so high. Srila Gurudev used to, in his lectures, used to bring up some very important points, which was even surprising for so many learned scholars of Braj. Gurudev used to hold this Rup Goswami conference for 4 days in Vrindavan. All great speakers, speaking such high Harikatha. Actually very high. Sometimes it's just going beyond the head. And Gurudev used to give in the last, final touch. How? Because he's an expert diver in this ocean of, which ocean? Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. The ocean of not only bhakti, but that bhakti which is full of ras. Prior to Rupa Goswami, bhakti was just simple bhakti. But Sri Rupa Goswami Pad introduced bhakti ras by the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by infusion of potency of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Rupa Goswami at Prayag, the confluence of 3 rivers, Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati. Vrindavan ras ke li vartam kale lukta nij shakti ukta. Sanchare rupno vyatma purasa Prabhu eva prag eva lokashishtim. Just like Krishna inspired Brahma, infused all potency, and Brahma was able to do creation. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he infused his potency in Rupa Goswami. And with that potency, Rupa Goswami Pad describing Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the ocean of Bhakti Rasamrit. But Mahaprabhu told, Rupa, I'm only giving you a drop of that pleasure. One drop. That drop has become the ocean. Imagine how big is the ocean of that Bhakti Ras in the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, I'm only giving one drop of this. Ek bindu, tumhare chakhaile ek bindu. I only made you taste one drop of that. And with that one drop of that, Sri Rupa Goswami Pad describing Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the ocean of Bhakti Ras. What is the aim and object of Gaudiya Vaishnavas? It is described by Narottam Thakur, one of the lecture of Srila Gurudev. And this shows the glories of Srila Gurudev. How come? I'm going to speak on this. Worshipping, subject of worship, Ashya Vigraha. Not the object of worship, Krishna. And this is the best example. This bhajan, this song, written by Narottam Thakur. Shirupa Manjari Pada Sei Mora Sampada. What is saying? The lotus feet of Shirupa Manjari are my treasure. They are object of my bhajan and worship. Oh, excuse me. The object of your worship isn't it Krishna? Narottam Thakur said no. The object of my worship is Ashya Vigraha. And who is that Ashya Vigraha? Rupa Manjari. Gurudev said Rupa Manjari is so prominent. And sometime I saw some scholars were not able to digest this. When Gurudev said Rupa Manjari, because there is Kunja Leela, there is Nikunja Leela, there is Nibrit Nikunja Leela. In that intimate Nibrit Nikunja Leela, intimate pastime of Radha Krishna is taking place. Even Sakhis are not allowed. Rupa Manjari is doorkeeper. And she is even stopping Lalita Sakhi to enter in. And Rupa Manjari, she serves under the guidance of Lalita Sakhi. But in Nibruta Nikunja Leela, Rupa Manjari is even stopping Lalita Sakhi to enter in. Gurudev said, this is the glories of our Rupa Manjari, of our Rupa Gosvāmī. Yeah? Therefore, Rupa Manjari is present in Rupa Gosvāmī. But Rupa Gosvāmī is not present in Rupa Manjari. This bold statement, when Srila Gurudev said, everyone was amazed. They're speaking like 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and Gurudev said in the last, only 5-10 minutes, and everyone just looking at him. This is called realization. One of that big scholar, very renowned in Vrindavan, Gurudev sent me and my godbrother, Madhapriya Prabhu, to go and have translation of Ujjwal Nimani by Jiva Goswami. That's not available. It's on in Sanskrit. So he's very renowned and he's also Gaudiya Vaishnava. He knows the mood of Rupa Goswami. So you both go and get dictation. I want Ujjwal Nimani, not only translation, but the translation of Jiva Goswami's commentaries on that, which is very strong and powerful. So while working with him, once upon a time he said, I don't remember the content, but he said something about pastime of Radha and Krishna. And he's very famous. Gurudev used to love him. But when he said this, we said, Prabhu, Maharaj, please, can we say something? According to what we heard from Srila Gurudev, it is not like this, it is like this. And he gave a thought on this. And after 5 minutes he said, wonderful, wonderful. And then he glorified Gurudev saying, this is the difference. We are just Sanskrit scholars. But your Gurudev, Shri Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj, even though many times he said, I never read Sanskrit in my life. But his realizations are more important than all these learnings. Just one formula is enough to contemplate on, to meditate on throughout the life. And this is the formula Gurudev gave, the essence. Rupa Manjari is present in Rupa Goswami, but Rupa Goswami is not present in Rupa Manjari. What does that mean? It's the same personality. Who is Rupa Goswami? Rupa Manjari. She Rupa Manjari is serving Radharani in the Kunja Leela of Radha and Krishna. She came as Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami, the associate of Mahaprabhu. But what is the difference? One and the same thing? No. It's not one and the same thing. Rupa Manjari is too busy. 24/7 into 365 and eternity. She's too busy all time serving Radharani, decorating Radharani, arranging all the pastimes, one after the other. Swing pastime, dice pastime, all this pastime. She's so busy all the time, engaging all other manjaris. She's the prominent amongst all. But she has no compassion for ordinary jivas like us, because she's too much occupied there. But when Rupa Manjari comes as Rupa Goswami, his compassion for us. As she, Mahaprabhu, has compassion for the jivas. Similarly, the associates of Mahaprabhu also compassionate for the jivas. So Jiva Udhar, to deliver jivas. How to deliver jivas? Rupa Goswami is writing these books. So 1 into 2, 2 persons in 1. He has male form, Rupa Goswami, but he also has Rupa Manjari in him. The compassion of, or in other words, the compassion of Rupa Manjari descends as Rupa Goswami, is one and the same, but this speciality. The speciality of Rupa Goswami, compassionate. What kind of compassion? Or just delivering everyone? What kind of deliverance? Not ordinary deliverance. Not ordinary nourishing. Nourishing with very high class of bhakti. Nourishing the moods. The best Rupanuga is Raghunath Das Goswami, Gurudev said. What I am saying, I am just repeating the words of Gurudev. That's the glories of our Gurudev. Raghunath Das Goswami is the best amongst all Rupanugas. And when he's reading the books of the literature of Rupa Goswami, so much emotions comes on him. So many emotions. Sometimes he's crying and weeping. Reading any separation pastime of Radha and Krishna. That's the Gurudev's words. When Rupa Goswami is writing any separation pastime of Radha and Krishna, the tree under Rupa Goswami is sitting, the tree also feeling what? All the leaves, fruits just start falling. And Raghunath Das Goswami, when he's reading this, is weeping and crying, weeping and crying, weeping and crying. But then Vaishnavas told Rupa Goswami that, you know what's happening to Raghunath? Then Rupa Goswami Pad wrote, Dan Keli Komati. The beautiful, loving quarrel between Radha and Krishna. Loving quarrel, not other kind of quarrel. Loving quarrel, in which there is so much exchanges of quarrel. Those words. When Raghunath Das Goswami read that, he started laughing. Ha ha ha. See how Radharani is winning over Krishna. And how in debate she is like always defeating Krishna. He started laughing and he regained his health. So his health is not dependent on the food. His physique, his health depend on the books of Rupa Goswami. That's the Adhar, that's the foundation. Rupa Goswami nourished the entire world with these moods, the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, with proper Siddhanta. That was his nourishment. And that's why Narottam Thakur saying, without the sanction of Rupa Manjari, without the permission of Rupa Manjari, no one can enter into Kunjalila. Without her sanction, no one. Everyone has to follow Rupa Manjari. In that Golok Vrindavan pastime, if ever we get that form, in maybe 1 million lifetimes, maybe 2 million, maybe 100, I don't know. Maybe you get next life, I don't know. But whenever everyone going to serve under Rupa Manjari, under her guidance and supervision, there is no shortcuts there. It's not because of that we going to get entrance. It's because of the glories of Rupa Manjari and the glories of Rupa Goswami, so dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ma Mano Vishtam Sthapitam Inamitra. So Narottam Thakur is declaring a declaration. The aim and object of Gaudiya Vaishnava is what? Worshipping the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami. Sei vrata, sei tapa, sei mora mantra japa. Sei vrata. Her lotus feet are the goal of my vows and austerities, the object of my recitation of mantras, and the purpose of all my religious activities. Isn't it, Krishna? For general people, yes. But for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this is our ideal. That's our aim and object. To attain the service of Rupa Manjari. And then she's going to take us and give us service. Otherwise, no seva there. Only by her permission. This is possible. So, Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharti Gosvāmī Maharaj, once upon a time, while hearing this song, he commented on this saying, why Narottam Thakur sing? Rupa Manjari is everything. He minimized the object of worship, Vishya Vigraha Shri Krishna. And he highlighted what? Ashya Vigraha. The worship of Ashya Vigraha. That is under guidance of Radharani, Lalita Sakhi, Rupa Manjari. But Rupa Manjari is more prominent. This the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. What it has to do with Srila Gurudev? Not only speaking, but his actions also establish the prominence of Ashya Vigraha over Vishya Vigraha. How come his actions? Of course, his Hari Katha, we all, you all are familiar with. Gurudev is always favoring Radharani over Krishna. But you see, in the establishing his centers, that's what I said, actions. When he established Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math in Vrindavan, he got a dream of Vrinda Sakhi, Vrinda Devi. Gurudev got this dream, can you imagine? That I was here in Vrindavan, but because of the attack of the Muslims, all the deities of Vrindavan went to Jaipur, but I got stopped at the outskirts of Braj Mandal, that's Kamyavan. So I'm very far away from Vrindavan. I want you to establish me in your center. Gurudev got this dream of Vrinda Sakhi. So next to Mahaprabhu and Radha Vinod Bihari, Srila Gurudev, he must establish Vrinda Sakhi. Then, near to Mathura, Durvasa Gaudiya Math. Next to Mahaprabhu Radha Vinod Bihari, Gurudev established Jamuna Maharani. And in Govardhan, Girdhari Gaudiya Math, Gurudev established Giriraj Govardhan. What is the necessity? Mahaprabhu Radha Krishna is enough. But why Vrinda Sakhi? Why Vrinda Devi? Why Jamuna Maharani and Giriraj Govardhan? These three prominent centers. Why these three? Because Vrinda Devi, Jamuna Maharani and Giriraj Govardhan, the three of them, they are witness of Radha Krishna pastimes. And they are Ashya Vigraha. Showing with his own example, with his actions, without the shelter of Vrinda Sakhi, without taking shelter of Vrinda Sakhi, and without taking shelter of Jamuna Maharani, and without taking shelter of Giriraj Govardhan, you can't enter into that Leela. And these three, they are the witness of the pastimes of Radha Krishna. Vrinda Devi, she arranges all the amorous pastimes of Radha Krishna in the forest. In the intimate Leela of Radha and Krishna, who's supporting and arranging everything? Vrinda Devi. And without Jamuna Maharani, the water splashing pastime, the Ras Leela on the bank of Jamuna, and many other can't take place. And what about Giriraj? Hante Adravala Haridas Varjayo Yad Ram Krishna Charan Sparsh Pramoda. Shri Giriraj Govardhan is best amongst all the Haridas. Giriraj Govardhan is not object of worship. Gurudev said Giriraj can't be male. Because that's the realizations of Srila Gurudev. It can't be male form. Because the glorious pastime of Radha and Krishna can't be in front of any male. Then who's Giriraj Govardhan? The heart of Radharani. Haridas Varjyo. Yad Ram Krishna Charan Sprash Parmoda. How is possible? Once upon a time there was a big discussion on this. In Kartik Parikrama. Gurudev was asking sannyasis to speak on this point. To, analyze, churn this. Who's Giriraj Govardhan? Male or female? Because I personally asked this question to Gurudev in Govardhan. Gurudev, Mahaprabhu gave Giriraj Govardhan to Raghunath Das Gosvāmī and said, Raghunath, worship Giriraj Govardhan by offering Tulasi Manjaris. So this clearly shows Giriraj Govardhan is Krishna, because Tulsi Manjaris can only be offered to Krishna. But on the other side, Radharani is saying, Radhika Mukha Chandra. Radharani is claiming is Haridas Varjya. This is the best amongst all the Haridas. So it's so confusing. Shall we follow Mahaprabhu or shall we follow Radharani? Gurudev, what is your opinion? He said, my opinion is just one. I'm only going to follow Radharani. One-pointed. Radharani one-pointed. So one example came up. Just like if Gurudev is in your house, Gurudev is in your home, staying few days for preaching, and all of a sudden, it happens so that Ekadashi falls. What are you going to offer to Gurudev in his room when he's sitting there? Grains? Rice? Rice, grains? No. He's fasting, right? But what are you going to offer at the altar? To Krishna? Huh? Rice? All grains? Well, Krishna is not fasting. He's fasting for us. And after offering to Krishna at the altar, the next mantra we offer to Gurudev on his picture. We are offering grains here, and while he's in his room, we're not going to give rice there. It's one and the same thing. It's difference. He is in person and the picture at the altar. Yes. If he's in the room, he's like a sadhaka form. But at the altar, is a manjari form. Manjaris are not doing Radha. They are honoring Radha Krishna Prasad. Mane mane sukhe Radha Krishna Gunagan. They are honoring the Mahaprasad of Radha and Krishna. So that's the difference. Giriraj Govardhan. Okay, when we worship Giriraj Govardhan, we also give Brahman thread. While we do Abhishek and complete worship with all the ingredients, we also offer Brahman thread. And Brahman thread can only be given to male person. Cannot be to female. Yeah. So Giriraj Govardhan is male then. Is Krishna. Confusing, right? It's not confusing. Just like Baldev Prabhu, the manifestation of Krishna, he acts in two ways, two roles in one, two in one. He's also object of worship and is also subject of worship. He's Vishya Vigraha and also Ashya Vigraha. Krishna is only Vishya Vigraha. Baldev Prabhu is Vishya Vigraha and Ashya Vigraha together. Baldev Prabhu is Krishna himself, there's no difference. But Baldev Prabhu also serves as Anang Manjari, female form to Krishna. That's additional in him. Similarly, Giriraj Govardhan is manifestation of Krishna, but Giriraj Govardhan serving the pastime of Radha and Krishna as a female. Because Giriraj Govardhan is heart of Radharani. This is the conclusion of Srila Gurudev. He churned this and he gave the essence. Wonderful. Siddhanta here. Who is Giriraj Govardhan? So Gurudev then said, Jamuna, Maharani, Vrinda Devi and Giriraj Govardhan. If anyone prays to them, one can easily get Krishna Bhakti. Means Prema Bhakti. They are the one who can give us entrance. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami saying, Nirupadi Karunena Shri Sachidandanena Toi Kapati Shatopi Tat Priyatmanotsmi Iti Khal Mama Yogya Yogyatam Tam Grinam Nija Nikata Nivasam Dehi Govardhanatam. Oh Giriraj Govardhan, I don't want to go anywhere else. I just want to stay by you. Because you can very easily give us entrance into that pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Prominence of Ashya Vigraha over Vishya Vigraha. Gurudev established this. Not only in his lectures, but while establishing deities in his centers. Girirani. Giriraj and Girirani. Like Radha Rani. So it's Girirani. That's the Siddhanta. Also Gurudev, analyzing on this point, who's superior? Haridas Thakur, who's chanting 300,000 names every day, or Rupa Goswami? Gurudev used to ask, how many rounds Rupa Goswami chanting? And everyone is confused what to answer. Because that's for sure, Haridas Thakur is chanting 300,000 names every day. Gurudev said Rupa Goswami only chanting not even one round. Not even one round. When he began chanting Hare Krishna, and then just he's in the pastime. He's just there. Rupa Manjari is so busy. He has no time to chant all day. Some devotees might be thinking this is a good idea. It's a good idea to not to chant because Maharaj, I get absorbed in Radha Krishna. Haridas Thakur is hard, 300,000. Who's going to chant that? 22 hours a day. I prefer Rupa Goswami because he's not even chanting one round, only just one Hare Krishna and that's it. These are some very important points. Gurudev used to take comparative studies. Who's superior? Okay, which dham is superior? In Navadvip Parikrama. He's chanting, then he's meditating on that. And he raised this point. We have so many sannyasis sitting on the dais. Tell me, which dham is superior? Navadvip or Jagannath Puri? Everyone stood up. So Jagannath Puri is superior. Mahaprabhu showed his so many emotions there. So much prakash, so much opulence there. When everyone said that and believed that, Gurudev in the last said, no, you all are wrong. Navadvip Dham is superior. Why Navadvip Dham is superior? Gurudev gives so many evidences. He said in the God mantra which we chant, God Gayatri, what are the names there? Vishambharaya, Gaura, Chaitanya. Gurudev said these are the names from Navadvip, not from the Jagannath Puri. In God Gayatri. And in Navadvip there is Lauki Sadbandhupat Bhav, human-like pastimes, intimate pastimes with his associates in Navadvip Dham. But in Jagannath Puri, he is showing Aishwarya. I was just reading yesterday. How to explain to a person what is opulence and what is sweetness? Aishwarya and Madhurya. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami said one simple line, one simple formula. When anyone is considering Krishna superior and taking oneself as inferior, that's opulence mood. But when taking Krishna as equal and inferior, a devotee taking Krishna as equal or inferior, that's sweetness, Madhuri. Is that simple? Just one line, formula. When taking Krishna as superior and devotees taking himself as inferior, that's opulence mood. As would happen with Arjun. Showing so much love and affection as friendly. But when Krishna showed his universal form, folded hands. Sakheti matva tarvasam uktaduktam. Hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Sakheti. I'm so sorry I addressed you as Yadav. Oh Krishna, take my chariot here, take my chariot there. You are Lord. So moment thinking Krishna is superior than you, opulence mood reflects. And when opulence mood reflects, Krishna straight away said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, straight, Aishwarya Shithil Prem Nahi More Preet. This mood of opulence makes my love fade there. And no one can please me with this opulence mood. I'm only controlled and pleased by Madhurya, sweetness. And for that, a devotee has to make Krishna either equal or inferior. As the Sakhas, never believing Krishna is superior. Oh, we are same. Yashoda Maya, she never believes Krishna is supreme. Devaki Maya believed. Mother Devaki, she didn't even saw any opulence. These are the vichars Gurudev used to give. These are the thoughts, vichars. Comparison. He said Devaki just heard Krishna killed Kamsa. Just heard. She was not witness there. She didn't witness that. She just heard, oh, my Krishna has killed Kamsa. And Krishna Balaram came in the prison house to release Devaki and Vasudev. And Devaki Vasudev folded hands. Yujam natana suto sakshat pradhan purush ishvara. Oh, you are not our sons. You are beyond Prakriti, beyond nature. You are supreme. Bas. Making just Krishna superior and opulence mode comes and Madhurya sweetness finished there, faded there. But Yashoda Maya, even seeing all the opulences in the mouth of Krishna, could never believe Krishna is supreme. Always taking Krishna as inferior to him, inferior to her. And Radharani, she believes Krishna is supreme. Then how is she allowing Krishna to massage her feet? But Sita Devi and Rukmani in Dwarka, then Swakya Bhav, wedded love, there is a Maryada. Oh, my husband is superior than me. And that's why opulence mood is high there. There is no sweetness. And that's why Krishna is not controlled there. But here in Braj, in Parikya Bhav, Paramar mood, Gopi is not believing Krishna is superior. He is just our beloved. That's all. So mood of Madhurya, sweetness is prominent there. And that's why Krishna is controlled there. Controlled with the love of the Gopis. So only Brajvasis can completely control Krishna and only Brajvasis can give complete Krishna to us. If you're going to approach any Dwarka associate, any Ayodhya associate, any Vaikuntha associate, you're going to get, but not 100%. If you want 100% Krishna, Gurudev said, you have to, mandatory, you have to take shelter of Brajvasi. The Sakhas of Krishna, Yashoda Maya, Nanda Baba. And if you want most complete Krishna, then you have to take shelter of Radharani. With this formula, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro, tomar shakati ache. Krishna is yours, and you can give Krishna. But who can give Krishna? Even Arjun can also give Krishna. Yudhishthira Maharaj can also give Krishna. You know? Can Arjun give Krishna? Yes. Bhishma is praying this. When Bhishma was on the bed of arrows, about to leave his body, he was waiting for auspicious time. No, he was waiting for Krishna to come, to see him and leave his body. Krishna came with the Pandavas there. And Bhishma Pitama, grandsire Bhishma, he saw Arjun next to Krishna. And Bhishma said, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite par, tomar shakat yache. Oh Arjun, Krishna is yours. You can give Krishna to me. That was a vision of Bhaktivedānta Thakur. And that's why he composed this. Not just randomly he wrote this bhajan. Srila Bhakti Rasha Sridhar Gosvāmī is telling. Bhaktivedānta Thakur saw this vision. How Bhishma is praying to Arjun that Krishna is your asset. You can give Krishna to me. And I beg. And I'm beggar. I have no Krishna. You can give Krishna to me. So Arjun can also give Krishna. And many associates can also give Krishna. But how much? As much as they have acquired Krishna. So Krishna is not 100% with Arjun. Krishna is not 100% with any Dwarka associate. Krishna is 100% here in Braj. And even that, even in Braj, there's gradations. Dasya devotees can only give Krishna according to what their capacity is. Even then it's not 100%. Sakhya Ras, also not 100%. Vatsalya Ras, also not 100%. This is Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy by Rupa Gosvāmī. Only Madhurya Ras, Radharani can give. Therefore, if anyone wants 100% Krishna, then one has to take shelter of Radharani. Anya Radha Radha Padam Bhoja Renu Manashita Vrindi Atatiya Padankam Asambhashya Tabhava Tabhav Gambhira Chitta Kuto Sham Sindhu Ras Syamka. Conditions are there. Just ending up in 1 minute. One pointed devotion to Radharani. One pointed. Very important. If we get impressed to see, oh, Chandravali also serve Krishna, better I join her camp. That's not one-pointedness. Or if Krishna is approaching you, come, let's have some pastime. And the Manjaris, they never melt to have proposal of Krishna. Rather they show anger. Krishna, just go. Otherwise we are going to complain to Radharani. Selfless love there. Only dedicated to Radharani. So one-pointed devotion to Radharani. Manashita Vrinda Atiti Yar Padankam. And taking shelter of Vrindavan Dham. That Vrindavan Dham to whom Radharani claimed, Anyar Man Man, more Man Vrindavan. Vrindavan is my heart. Radharani said, Vrindavan is my heart. Taking shelter, one-pointed shelter of Radharani, one-pointed shelter, Vrindavan Dham. But third line is the most important. Asambhashya tabhav gambhira chitta. One who is not associating with those associates, those devotees who are gambhira chitta, who are totally immersed in Radharani's mood. Kuto Sham Sindhu Rasa Syavaga. You can't drink the Sham Ras, means Krishna Ras. Can't. Third point is the most important. Asambhashya means not associating with those who are totally absorbed and immersed in Radharani's mood. One cannot get interested into this beautiful realm of Radha and Krishna. You can't drink this nectar of Krishna. Can't. How lucky and fortunate we are. We got this association of Srila Gurudev. Sambhashya Bhav Gambhira Chitta, whose consciousness, whose everything is only and only one-pointed Radharani. That shows time is over. The censors are there. Mahārāja, it's too late. Srila Gurudeva ki Gaur Premanande. We'll continue tomorrow and day after, 2 more classes. There's so much more to say. Gurudev glories are endless. As Gopal Prabhu was saying, this time goes for days and days and weeks. So ending up here. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to have quick aarti. and then Mahaprasad. We don't want to delay because devotees have to go far. And everyone should take prasad. Don't leave without prasad, please. Hare Krishna.